Hey there, fellow Americans. Breaking news that could change your financial situation. Yes, you heard that right. The government has just announced a massive $6,500 stimulus payment specifically for Social Security and SSDI beneficiaries. But before I dive into all the crucial details about who qualifies and when you'll get your money, take a second to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss out on important updates like this one. Have you been struggling to keep up with rising costs while living on a fixed income? Are you one of the millions of Americans depending on Social Security or SSDI benefits to make ends meet? Well, this news is going to be a game changer for you. The latest economic relief package includes a substantial one-time payment of $6,500 for qualifying beneficiaries, and I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this historic stimulus payment. Let's start with the biggest question on everyone's mind: who exactly qualifies for this payment? If you're currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, or Supplemental Security Income, SSI, you're likely eligible for this stimulus payment. This includes both retired workers and disabled individuals who have been receiving benefits for at least 3 months prior to the payment date. But here's something crucial: you need to know your monthly benefit amount must be below a certain threshold to qualify for the full $6,500 payment. Now, you might be wondering about the income limits and how they affect your eligibility. The stimulus package has been carefully designed to help those who need it most. For individuals receiving Social Security retirement benefits, your annual income must not exceed $75,000 to receive the full payment. For married couples filing jointly, that threshold increases to $150,000. But don't worry if your income is slightly above these limits. There's a gradual phase-out system in place, meaning you might still qualify for a partial payment. Speaking of timing, this is where things get really exciting. The official rollout dates have just been released, and the distribution will begin sooner than you might think. The Social Security Administration has announced a staggered payment schedule based on beneficiaries' birth months. If your birthday falls between January and March, you can expect your payment in the first wave. Those born between April and June will receive their payments in the second wave, and so on. But here's a crucial detail many people miss: you don't have to wait for your scheduled month if you have direct deposit set up with the SSA. Direct deposit recipients will receive their payments approximately 2 weeks earlier than those receiving paper checks. But here's something you absolutely need to know, and this is where many people get confused. Unlike previous stimulus payments, this one requires some action on your part. Yes, you heard that right. Even if you're already receiving Social Security or SSDI benefits, you'll need to verify your information through the SSA's online portal. Why? Because this ensures that every eligible beneficiary receives their payment correctly and promptly. Don't worry, though, I'll walk you through exactly how to do this in just a moment. Have you been wondering about how this payment might affect your other benefits? This is a common concern, and I've got good news for you. This stimulus payment will not count as income for any other federal benefits you might receive. That means it won't affect your regular Social Security payments, Medicare benefits, or any other federal assistance programs you might be enrolled in. This is crucial information that many news outlets aren't covering. Now, let's talk about what makes this stimulus payment different from previous ones. Unlike the COVID-era stimulus checks, this payment is specifically designed to help Social Security and SSDI beneficiaries cope with the ongoing effects of inflation. Think about it: when was the last time Social Security recipients received a significant boost to their benefits? The annual cost of living adjustments, COLAs, barely keep pace with rising prices, and many beneficiaries find themselves falling behind financially. But here's where it gets even more interesting: this stimulus payment comes with some additional benefits that aren't being widely reported. For instance, did you know that certain beneficiaries might qualify for supplemental assistance on top of the $6,500 base payment? If you're caring for dependent children or adult dependents, you could be eligible for an additional amount per dependent. This is especially important for SSDI recipients who might have family members depending on their benefits. Let's address another common question I've been getting: will this payment be taxed? The answer might surprise you. According to the official guidelines, this stimulus payment is not considered taxable income at the federal level. However, and this is important, some states might have different rules about how they treat stimulus payments. I strongly recommend consulting with a tax professional about your specific situation, especially if you live in a state with its own income tax system. Now, I know what some of you are thinking: this sounds too good to be true. I understand the skepticism, especially given how many scams target Social Security beneficiaries. That's why it's crucial to understand how the official payment process works. The SSA will never call, email, or text you asking for personal information related to this stimulus payment. All official communication will come through the mail or your My Social Security account. If anyone contacts you claiming to be from the SSA and asks for personal information or payment to process your stimulus, it's a scam. Let's talk about the verification process I mentioned earlier. To ensure you receive your payment, you'll need to log into your My Social Security account on the official SSA website. Don't have an account yet? Don't worry, I'll explain exactly how to set one up. Once you're logged in, you'll see a special section dedicated to the stimulus payment. This is where you'll verify your current mailing address, direct deposit information, and any dependents you might have. The system will also show you your expected payment date based on your birth month. But here's something crucial that many people overlook: what if you've moved recently or changed banks? These changes need to be updated in the SSA's system at least 30 days before your scheduled payment date. If you wait until the last minute, your payment could be delayed or, worse, sent to the wrong address or bank account. That's why I recommend logging in and verifying your information as soon as possible. You might be wondering about the reasoning behind this substantial payment. The truth is, Social Security beneficiaries have been particularly hard hit by recent economic challenges. Think about it: while wages for working Americans have generally kept pace with inflation, those living on fixed incomes haven't had the same opportunity to increase their earnings. This stimulus payment is designed to help bridge that gap and provide some much-needed financial relief. Let's discuss some smart ways to use this stimulus payment. While everyone's situation is different, consider using this opportunity to catch up on essential expenses, pay down high-interest debt, or build an emergency fund. Some financial advisors are recommending splitting the payment into different categories: immediate needs, debt reduction, and savings for future expenses. Remember, this is a one-time payment, so planning how to use it effectively is crucial. But here's something that might affect your planning: the payment might come in 2 installments rather than one lump sum. This is actually a beneficial feature for many recipients, as it helps with budgeting and reduces the risk of fraud. The first installment will be 60% of your total eligible amount, with the remaining 40% following approximately 1 month later. This staggered approach helps ensure the money is used for its intended purpose, supporting beneficiaries over time rather than providing a single windfall that might be quickly spent. What about Medicare beneficiaries? This is where things get interesting. If you're enrolled in Medicare, this stimulus payment won't affect your coverage or premiums. However, there's an additional benefit for Medicare recipients that isn't being widely discussed. The stimulus package includes provisions for reducing certain Medicare-related expenses, potentially saving you even more money over the long term. Another important aspect to consider is how this stimulus payment might affect other government benefits you receive. For instance, if you're receiving SNAP benefits, food stamps, housing assistance, or Medicaid, this payment won't count against your eligibility or benefit amounts. This protection ensures that the stimulus truly helps improve your financial situation without jeopardizing other essential support you might be receiving. Let's talk about advocacy and making your voice heard. While this stimulus payment is a significant step forward, many beneficiary advocacy groups are already pushing for additional support measures. If you want to see more initiatives like this in the future, consider reaching out to your congressional representatives. Remember, your experiences and stories matter, and lawmakers need to hear from the people most affected by these policies. Now, here's something that might surprise you: there are actually several complementary programs being rolled out alongside this stimulus payment. These include enhanced housing assistance, expanded utility bill support, and additional food security programs. While these programs aren't getting as much attention as the main stimulus payment, they could provide significant additional support for eligible beneficiaries. But let's address another common concern: what happens if your payment is delayed or doesn't arrive? The SSA has established a dedicated hotline for stimulus payment inquiries. However, before you spend hours waiting on hold, there's a much easier way to check your payment status. The My Social Security online portal will include a payment tracker, similar to the IRS's Get My Payment tool used for previous stimulus checks. This tracker will show whether your payment has been processed, when it was sent, and how it was sent, direct deposit or paper check. Here's an important tip that could save you some headaches: keep all documentation related to this stimulus payment. This includes any letters you receive from the SSA, bank statements showing the deposit, and records of how you used the funds. While this might seem unnecessary, having this documentation could be crucial if there are any questions about the payment in the future, particularly during tax season. Let's discuss some potential pitfalls to avoid. First, don't rely on this stimulus payment for long-term financial planning. While $6,500 is a significant amount, it's meant to provide temporary relief rather than a permanent solution to financial challenges. Consider working with a financial advisor to develop a sustainable long-term financial plan that takes into account your regular Social Security or SSDI benefits. Another crucial point that needs addressing: what about representative payees? If someone else manages your Social Security benefits, they will also be responsible for managing this stimulus payment. However, it's important to understand that the payment belongs to the beneficiary, not the representative payee. The payee must use the funds for the beneficiary's needs and keep records of how the money is spent. Here's something that could affect your planning: the timing of this stimulus payment might coincide with your annual Social Security cost of living adjustment, COLA. This means you'll need to carefully track these separate increases in your income. The stimulus payment is a one-time event, while the COLA is a permanent increase to your monthly benefits. Understanding this distinction is crucial for managing your finances effectively. Let's talk about protecting yourself from fraud. Unfortunately, whenever there's a new government benefit, scammers try to take advantage of the situation. Remember these key points. The SSA will never require you to pay anything to receive this stimulus payment. They won't ask for personal information over the phone, and they won't pressure you to act quickly. If someone contacts you making these kinds of requests, it's a scam. What about the impact on the economy as a whole? Economists estimate that this stimulus payment to Social Security and SSDI beneficiaries could inject billions of dollars into the economy, particularly benefiting local communities where recipients spend most of their money. This economic boost could lead to improved services and opportunities in areas with high concentrations of beneficiaries. Here's an important consideration that often gets overlooked: the timing of when you spend your stimulus payment. Some financial experts suggest waiting a few weeks after receiving the payment before making any major purchasing decisions. This waiting period allows you to carefully consider your needs and priorities, rather than making impulse purchases you might later regret. Let's address another common question: what happens if you're eligible but don't receive your payment automatically? In some cases, you might need to file a claim for missing payments. The SSA has established a straightforward process for this, but it's important to act within the designated timeframe. Don't wait too long to follow up on a missing payment, as there might be deadlines for claiming it. Now, here's something practical to consider: how should you handle this influx of money if you're on a strict budget? Financial advisors recommend creating a specific plan before the money arrives. This might include making a list of priority expenses, identifying any urgent medical needs, and setting aside a portion for emergencies. Having a plan in place helps ensure the money is used effectively. Let's talk about record keeping. While this stimulus payment won't affect your tax liability, it's still important to keep good records. Create a simple system to track when you received the payment and how you used it. This documentation could be valuable for future reference, especially if you need to demonstrate how you manage the funds. Here's a crucial point about timing: if you're currently applying for Social Security or SSDI benefits, you might still be eligible for this stimulus payment. However, your application needs to be approved before the cutoff date. This is why it's important to submit any pending applications or appeals as soon as possible. What about the future? While this stimulus payment provides immediate relief, it's also important to think about long-term financial security. Consider using some of the money to invest in things that could help reduce your expenses over time, such as energy-efficient appliances or home modifications that could lower your utility bills. Let's address one final concern: what if you need help managing this money? Many community organizations and financial counselors offer free or low-cost services to help Social Security beneficiaries manage large payments like this. Taking advantage of these resources could help you make the most of this stimulus payment. Remember, staying informed is crucial. Keep checking your My Social Security account regularly for updates about your payment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for the latest news and updates about Social Security benefits, stimulus payments, and other important information that affects your financial well-being. Thank you for watching this important update. If you found this information helpful, please hit that like button and share this video with anyone who might benefit from knowing about this stimulus payment. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.